We will be studying the section now at the level of T4. So at the level of T5, we could see the ascending aorta, descending aorta. So T4, when we are speaking, we will be seeing the arch of aorta now. So section at the level of T4 goes like this: sternum. Then here is the T4. The ribs. The other one I call this can be manubrium also because it is slightly above T4. Okay. Then the two lungs. This is the pleura. Inside the pleura. This is the lung. So here is the trachea. And behind the trachea is the esophagus. So the main thing which we see at this level we will be seeing the SBC as we saw at the level of T5. And then there will be the right phrenic nerve. So let us define our side. This side is the right side, this is the left side. And going from right to left, so here will be one bronchus, here will be another bronchus. And going from right to left, above the bronchus, above the bronchus is the arch of aorta. Arch of aorta. Here we see the superior intercostal vein. Superior intercostal vein and the left phrenic. So this is phrenic nerve. And so between this and here is the right vagus. This is superior intercostal vein. Superior intercostal vein. उसके लेफ्ट साइड पे phrenic nerve, right vagus. Left vagus is here. Left vagus is here. And here also there is a nerve, and that is the left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Left recurrent laryngeal nerve. So you need to understand the anatomy. The arch of aorta goes like this. Vagus goes in front of the arch of aorta. This is the left vagus. Left vagus. It gives recurrent laryngeal branch, which goes like this up. So vagus is going down. It will give a recurrent laryngeal branch, which will go up behind the aorta. So this is the aorta, vagus is like this. Vagus goes down, gives the left recurrent laryngeal nerve which goes up behind the vagus. And why only left is seen and right is not seen? Because the right shifts up, right does not have any obstacle. Left has an obstacle here in the form of ligamentum arteriosum. There is a ligamentum arteriosum. You must the ductus arteriosus. It is there, which prevents the upward movement of the left recurrent. Even if it was not there, it would have been stuck with the arch of aorta. Therefore, left recurrent laryngeal nerve is a part of thorax. Right you don't see. Right goes up. Okay. So what happens is both vagi are here. They give a recurrent laryngeal nerve. The nerve also during development shifts up. And they don't find any obstacle. Why to take a longer? But the left one gets stuck here. So you have to remember in this section, this is the right vagus and this is the left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Also here, now this you will see the thoracic duct. At T5 section we had seen azygous vein. Azygous vein we will not be seeing here. Okay? For a simple reason that at T5, almost T4 level, it will be opening into the superior diaphragm. While the azygous vein will be coming up like this and opening into the superior vena. It also arches. We said on the roots of the lungs, whether it is right side or left side, there is an arch. Left side is arch of aorta, right side is arch of azygous. Okay? So with this description we have finished the main two sections. Apart from that, there is section of T8 level, there is section at T3 level. Not asked in the exam, but T3 level what will happen is, instead of arch of aorta, we draw three circles over here. Brachiocephalic, left common carotid. Instead of SVC, we will draw brachiocephalic, we will draw brachiocephalic here. But these two are going to unite and form a SVC. Okay, so at T3 level, that will be the only difference in this section. At T8 level, we will not draw anything of this. There will be diaphragm like this. We will be only drawing descending thoracic aorta behind the esophagus. 3 inches behind the esophagus. At T8 level, majority of the anterior part is covered by diaphragm. There is arch of aorta, thoracic duct, azygous vein. Only three structures. Okay, and arising from the arch of aorta will be the posterior intercostal arteries. The left and the right. And arising from the descending aorta, I said arch of aorta. You see descending aorta, we see the descending aorta, descending thoracic aorta, thoracic duct and azygous vein. Three structures at the level of T8. Only three structures. Because आगे there will be diaphragm and on the diaphragm will be the lungs. Now lungs, everywhere in your books, you must have seen surface marking. So in case of lungs, it is very important. The inferior border of the lungs crosses in the mid-clavicular line at the level of 6th rib. Mid-axillary line 8th rib and posteriorly 10th. Then pleura, 8th rib, 10th rib and 12th. Why we need to know this? Pleural capillary. So now let's discuss arch of aorta, for example. Arch of aorta, the three branches we have already discussed. Apart from that, there may be thyroid, artery or any other artery. Relations, if you want to write the relations, inferiorly will be left bronchus. Inferiorly left bronchus. Medially and to the right, trachea, esophagus, left recurrent cavity. Laterally and to the left, superior intercostal vein. Anterior, this is anterolateral, this is posteromedial. So anterolateral is various branches I have already told. Let's talk about trachea. If you see your textbook, you will realize that at the end there is trachea, there is esophagus, there is thoracic curve, so many topics. Descending thoracic aorta. Trachea starts at the level of C6. So C1 to C6 is pharynx. C1 to C6 is pharynx. This pharynx has three parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx. C4 to C6. C4 to C6 is larynx. C4 to C6 is larynx. Because they are both coming. C1 to C6 is pharynx. C4 to C6 is larynx in front of laryngopharynx. In front of laryngopharynx. Okay, so this is larynx, pharynx, and this is laryngo. This is larynx. This is pharynx, which has three parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx, and lower part is laryngopharynx. So all of this ends at C6 level. So at C6 what happens is laryngopharynx continues as esophagus. At C6 laryngopharynx continues as esophagus. Pharynx continues as esophagus. I am just adding a word laryngopharynx. Laryngopharynx continues as esophagus. And larynx continues as trachea. It continues as trachea. This trachea goes up to level of T4. Trachea goes up to level of T4 and divides. But during breathing, it comes down up to T6 level. In live people, it goes down. T4. Directly rise. Now what happens to the esophagus? So esophagus, it starts in the neck. From the neck, it goes to superior mediastinum. From the neck it goes to superior mediastinum. From superior mediastinum it goes to posterior mediastinum. Esophagus. Rather, anterior most structure in the posterior mediastinum is esophagus. Is esophagus. At the level of T10, At the level of T10, it pierces diaphragm. And at the level of T11, it opens into stomach. So esophagus starts at C6, enters superior mediastinum, goes to posterior mediastinum, becomes the anterior most part of the posterior mediastinum. Then T10 it pierces the diaphragm and T11 opens into stomach in the abdomen. So here we have a structure whose anatomy you will study in the neck, you will study in thorax, and you will study in abdomen also. Second such structure is thoracic duct. It begins in the abdomen, goes to posterior, exactly thoracic duct ulta रहता है. Begins here in abdomen, passes to posterior mediastinum, goes to superior mediastinum, goes to the neck, and ends in the neck. Okay? So esophagus, if you want to write the relations, anteriorly is trachea. Okay? Below this, anything and more anterior structure you remember? Left atrium. तो trachea to divide हो गया T4. So anteriorly there will be trachea. T4 trachea divides. T4 the middle mediastinum starts, which is pericardium and heart. So the left atrium. So trachea and that is the reason that trachea has C-shaped cartilage. Because behind the esophagus normally is collapsed. Whenever the bolus of food goes, it expands. Now suppose this is the esophagus, slightly लेफ्ट की तरफ जाता है. Okay? Esophagus shows 4 constrictions. Shows 4 constrictions. The first constriction is here. At the beginning, there is cricopharyngeus muscle at the opening of the esophagus. There is the cricopharyngeus. I would say cricopharyngeus sphincter. So it normally has to remain closed. Okay. Only when the food comes down the pharynx, this opens. This cricopharyngeus sphincter, the first constriction of the esophagus is 6 inches from incisor T2. From incisor T2. Why we need to know this? As doctors, you will be putting rice tube in the patient. Those patients who are not able to eat or swallow, you put a rice tube. So at 6 inches from the incisor T, when the rice tube goes, there is a first marking. we feel some resistance. So you have to push. So then it goes. Then it is crossed from right to left side by arch of aorta. So that is at 9 inches from inside the 9 inches from inside the आर्च ऑफ एओर्टा क्रॉस करता है इसोफेगस ऐसा है आर्च ऑफ एओर्टा उसके साइड से जाता है तो वहाँ पे कंस्ट्रिक्शन मिलेगा इसोफेगस आर्च ऑफ एओर्टा के बिलो क्या है दिस इज प्रक्रिया डिवाइडेड इनटू टू फ्रॉम सो व्हाट इज देयर बिलो द आर्च ऑफ एओर्टा क्लोज से बोलो लेफ्ट ब्रोंकस सो दैट लेफ्ट ब्रोंकस will be here. Left bronchus. Inches from the inside of the 11 inches from the inside. And the last is felt here when it pierces the diaphragm, which is 15 inches from inside the So simple mathematics, calculate the length of the esophagus. Huh? Length of the esophagus will be 10 inches. 10 मतलब यहाँ से 6 से चालू होता है 6, 7, 8. तो यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा है और एक 1 inch is given. So total length of esophagus is 10 inches or 25 centimeters. So this distance 6 inch, 9 inch, 11 inch, 15 inch. You have to know in centimeters also. Bolo. Who had mathematics in 12th standard? 6 inch मतलब? हाँ? Everybody I think 15 1, 15 2, 15. इसमें ज़्यादा नहीं लगता. 6 inches is 15 centimeter. 15 centimeter. 9 inches is? हाँ? How much is 10 inches? हाँ? तो इतना जल्दी आप लोग 15 को हाँ? Okay, ठीक है. So this is how much? 22.5 centimeters. 11 inches. 27.5 centimeters. And 15 inches. 37.5 सेंटीमीटर. ये भी आपको याद रखना. 15 सेंटीमीटर्स, 22.5, 27.5 and 37.5 centimeters. Best is 6, 9, 11. Those who are not good at mathematics like me, this is the best way to learn. Okay. Esophagus development is from border. Development is from foregut, the initial part of the foregut. From this esophagus, from this foregut also develops, what is this? We already discussed. In the upper part of the foregut is the laryngotracheal diverticulum, which gives rise to the trachea and the lungs. So now this part in between is called as tracheoesophageal septum. Actually कुछ लोग बोलते हैं septum develop होता है इसके अंदर, and that is the one which divides the foregut into two parts. So this part in between, and for your convenience I have drawn it like this. Actually it is more like this, a septum developed in between. Now here is a risk. If the septum does not develop properly, TOF, tracheoesophageal fistula, and varieties you will see in that. How do we diagnose a patient with tracheoesophageal fistula? Moment the child is breastfed, it starts coughing, because this is trachea, this is esophagus, and here is the fistula. So the milk goes down the esophagus and some milk goes here. So if we find a child newborn, firstly breastfed, on breastfeeding, just coughing. Try to breastfeed, the child is coughing. So one has to suspect tracheoesophageal fistula. Okay. Many varieties है उसमें. Sometimes this is trachea, going down the esophagus is like this. So milk यहाँ पे आके भी यहाँ से ऐसे जाता. Again is coughing because नीचे connected नहीं है esophagus. Okay, sometimes the trachea is like this, esophagus is like this. Okay, then it is connected like this. So there are varieties of tracheoesophageal fistula. Sometimes the lower part is connected, upper part of the trachea remains blunt. Because there is a risk where one structure is divided into two structures. Okay? So then the patient has to be referred to pediatric surgeon. Okay, not to a regular surgeon. So that is this branch of pediatric surgery. They will deal with this. So apart from that, esophageal cancers are very common. Why? Because esophagus pierces diaphragm at T10. Every time the diaphragm descends, the IVC opening expands, which is at the level of T8. Esophageal opening constricts and nothing happens to the aortic opening. Because IVC, when the diaphragm descends, there is negative intrathoracic pressure creating the pressure. So we want the blood to go up as much as possible. So IVC expands. But when the diaphragm descends, the pressure in the stomach increases. So there is a tendency that food will go up. So the esophageal opening constricts. See the beauty, every time diaphragm is going down, IVC opening dilates, esophageal opening constricts. Nothing happens to the aortic opening. Therefore, it is the most posterior opening at the level of T12. Okay. And here there is an opening called as cardiac opening, which is at the level of T11 in the abdomen. Cardiac opening of the stomach. No visible sphincter. Physiology they must have taught you, GIT. No visible sphincter. Now this sphincter becomes loose if a person keeps on eating, खा pressure आता है, pressure is built. And then after a few years, a person, whenever he eats, the acid goes up. It's called as reflux. GERD, gastroesophageal. And then you come across patients with burning. Sometimes the burning is so strong that it mimics a heart attack. Okay? It's called as, this condition is therefore called as achalasia cardia. Every day in our casualty, one patient comes, walks in with family. Heart attack. And we give them Gelusil syrup. They get just hyperacidic. But रात को दबा के देवयानी में. Okay, so at young age it's okay. People can eat in the night and any time of the night. We used to had a day and night canteen at the hospital. So we used to come back from the library at 2 o'clock, go to the canteen, eat at 4 o'clock. We don't know what it is called, breakfast, क्या बोले. Then खा के हम लोग सोते. लेकिन 8 बजे के लेक्चर को पहुंचते पता नहीं. So this leads to cancer. Investigation on the esophagus is called as barium swallow. This hello. So the investigation done on the esophagus is called as barium swallow. For the stomach it is barium meal. The barium goes here and we take a X-ray. Okay. So this is barium swallow. So radiologist ऐसा सब कुछ करते हैं. वही डाई का राह देखते बैठते हैं फिर वो इंटेस्टाइन में जाते हैं. That is called barium follow through. Kidneys में भी there is pyelogram. Then that dies in the kidney, then goes to the bladder. There is an investigation called as micturating urethrogram. जब वो यूरिन पास कर रहा है तभी भी एक्सरे लेते हैं. तो रेडियोलॉजी के टॉयलेट डिपार्टमेंट में भी जाने को डर लगता है. कहाँ से उधर एक्सरे प्लेट लगा के तो कंसर्न पासिंग यूरिन दे टेक एक्सरे. मिक्चुरेटिंग यूरेथ्रोग्राम. तो यहाँ पे सॉलो कर रहा है. बोले ये पियो. आप क्या करें? हम एक्सरे निकालें. तो एक्सरे निकालें. तो वो एक्सरे ना कैसे दिखता है? वेरी peristaltic waves दिखेंगे, peristaltic. But if the patient has cancer, it will look like this. Because of this cancer, the food has been accumulating in the esophagus, and this has led to dilatation of the esophagus. So we'll see barium here. So the cancer is here. And this is called as a rat tail esophagus. Looks like a rat tail. Rat tail esophagus. Okay. Coming to the last part of the esophagus, what is the histology of the esophagus? What are the 4 layers in a gastrointestinal tract which every part has? First one, mucosa, submucosa, muscularis and serosa. So when we talk about these layers, we have to talk about how esophagus is different in all the layers. How esophagus is different, and esophagus is different in mucosa. In the mucosa layer, it is different from all the other layers of the GI tract, that it has stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. Everywhere in the GI tree, the epithelium is columnar or simple. This is esophagus is the only layer, only place where we find stratified. मतलब skin के जैसे, only non-keratinized. Non-keratinized. So in a classical esophageal this thing, we actually see stratified layer. Skin but without epithelium, ऐसा लगता है, without keratin. Why? Because it is exposed to friction of almost raw food. एक्चुअली हम लोग को बचपन में टेबल पे बैठ के आपकी नानी दादी ने क्या बोला, कितनी बार चबाने का? 32 बार. और आप 32 बाइट में पूरा खाना ख़त्म करते हैं. हाँ, आप लेक्चर को आते हैं इधर, फिर चॉइस कैंटीन में जाते हैं, फिर वड़ा पाव लेते हैं. तो गॉड नोज कि ये इसोफेगस ये लोग बराबर से बैठ के खाएंगे नहीं. तो सोचो इधर अगर कॉलमनर एपिथेलियम होता तो पूरा डैमेज हो जाता. So therefore there is this another reason there is stratified epithelium, because the acid is going to come up many times. So for protection from the acid and for protection from pizza वगैरह खाते हैं, grilled sandwich खाते हैं, how that bread is, so this is going to damage the esophagus. Okay. So this is how mucosa. Submucosa, how it is different? Mucus glands. In the submucosa there are, this is mucosa. In the submucosa there are mucus glands. Normally glands are there in the lamina propria. In submucosa there are mucus glands. So location where mucus glands is there is esophagus. So these mucus glands, why they are there? Again for 2 purposes: to fight against the acid and to lubricate the food. What is the third layer? Muscularis. Normally there is smooth muscle. There is smooth muscle in the GI tract. Esophagus has stratified muscle in upper 1/3, mixed in middle, and smooth in lower. So muscularis is also different. Now since esophagus is such a long organ, we cannot have blood supply from a single source. So middle part is supplied from descending thoracic aorta, lower part from the left gastric artery, upper part from the inferior thyroid artery. Upper part from the inferior thyroid artery. Inferior thyroid artery, descending thoracic aorta, left gastric artery. What is important in esophagus is the venous drainage. Upper part drains into the azygous, hemiazygous veins. Azygous and mostly the hemiazygous. Why hemiazygous? The lower end. Because it is slightly on the left side. स्लाइटली ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड ना, स्टमक यहाँ पे है ना, तो लेफ्ट में जाएगा हेमियाजाइगस. एंड द लोअर मोस्ट पार्ट इज ड्रेन्ड बाय द लेफ्ट गैस्ट्रिक वेन. क्यों आपको ये मर के सिखा रहा हूँ मैं? Because hemiazygous vein drains into systemic veins. That is the vena cava. Left gastric vein drains into portal vein. So venous has this very important aspect. Part of the esophagus is the site of portocaval anastomosis. So right, this is the site of portocaval anastomosis. That means upper part of the esophagus drains into superior vena cava, and lower part of the esophagus drains into portal vein via the left gastric vein. So if the patient has damage in the liver, cirrhosis of the liver, the patient will not be, the blood will not be passing through the portal veins. So there will be pressure on the left gastric vein, because the blood is not passing through the left gastric vein, because from there it goes to the portal vein. Portal vein it passes through the liver, lymphatic veins and IVC. But liver में से blood pass ही नहीं हो रहा है because there is cirrhosis. Now there is portal hypertension. We discussed pulmonary hypertension. Now I am talking about portal hypertension. In case of portal hypertension and cirrhosis of liver, this veins will dilate, and this is called as esophageal varices. Dilatation of the veins at the lower end of the esophagus. This happens in. So we have studied varicose veins of the lower. The varicosity of the veins happens at other locations also. It happens at other locations also, like anal varicosities called as hemorrhoids, dilatation of piles. Piles is dilatation of anal veins. So dilatation of esophageal veins is called as esophageal varices. So they may burst. Patient may start vomiting. When the patient starts vomiting
blood in cirrhosis. That means now the varices have burst. So there are treatments to be done. So आपके पास अगर सिरोसिस ऑफ लिवर का पेशेंट आता है तो इसोस्कोपी करके चेक करो कि वराइसिस है, और अगर वराइसिस है तो उसका स्क्लेरोटिक ट्रीटमेंट करके उसको सप्रेस कर दो। तो एक बार बर्स्ट हो गया तो वेरी डिफिकल्ट, हाउ विल यू कंट्रोल दैट ब्लीडिंग? ओके, सो दैट इज वो मूवीज़ में दिखाते हैं, देखो क्या ऐसा फाइट जोर से मारते हैं और तो वो ब्लड ये निकालते हैं। आई स्टिल कीप ऑन इमेजिनिंग कि उधर कौन सा वेन्स बर्स्ट हुआ, और वॉज दैट पर्सन ऑलरेडी हैविंग इसोफेजियल वराइसिस और इसने इतना जोर से मारा, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द विलन्स आर अल्कोहलिक्स और सिरोसिस। सो ऐसे मैं मन में सोचता हूँ कि एंड वराइसिस, तो वराइसिस बर्स्ट हो गया, अदरवाइज देर इज़ नो रीज़न फॉर समबडी टू, मतलब यहाँ पे लगा तो थोड़ा सा ब्लड आता है, ऐसे आपने आपको भी इधर उधर कभी चिक बाइट हुआ रहेगा या जोर से लगा रहेगा, मैक्सिमम वी स्पिट एंड द ब्लड कम्स आउट, बट ये लोग ऐसा, so that happens, yeah, only so that happens only in case of bursting of esophageal varices. Thank you so much.